What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sivaady Unleashed, and let's just get right into this one. So now we have a Michelle Obama sighting. Michelle Obama coming out the woodworks, talking about how the country isn't ready for a female president, and we showed that loud and clear this past election. And then on top of that, this complete fool. It makes my head hurt just trying to listen to these people. Sunny Hostin of The View follows up with her brain dead take to what Michelle said. Check this out.
We saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it.
But, you know, because of my lived experience as an Afro-Latina, I'm able to look at this world with a different prism, and I'm able to tell this country and tell this audience and tell my fellow co-hosts some uncomfortable truths. This is a country based on racism and slavery, and founded in it. There is systemic racism
and misogyny.
And there are people that I've never met anyone that raises their hand and says, I am racist. However, there are people that seem to be able to look the other way when it comes to racism. So you have a president who traffics in misogyny, who traffics in xenophobia, who traffics in sexism.
And won.
And he won. And won against a black woman. So don't tell me that this country is ready for a black woman.
So let's handle first things first. Why is there no pictures of Michelle Obama pregnant? I saw that a long time ago. Somebody brought that up. I said, you know what? That's a trip. I really haven't seen any pictures of Michelle Obama pregnant. But that's a topic for another day. Nobody's ready for a female president? This is what it said. They take no accountability. The candidate was probably the worst candidate in the history to run for the presidency. And they just sit back and they ignore it. This woman, Kamala, couldn't even answer very simple, straightforward questions. With everything that was going on with the economy, inflation, the withdrawal in Kabul and Afghanistan, when she was asked, even on The View, what would you do differently? She said there's nothing that comes to mind. She refused to do simple podcasts with Joe Rogan. He's not going to scalp her and just go to town on her. He was going to give her a nice softball interview. She couldn't even do that. I'm telling you, we absolutely dodged a Scud missile if she got in. And that's what drives me crazy about all these people complaining about all this stuff with Trump. He's not doing this fast enough, or they wanted this done, or this and that. Could you imagine where we would be even right now if that clown got in? If she got in, you think the border situation was bad back then? Man, you would be approaching 50 million plus. Just streamlining into the country. All this stuff with the trans and the kids and all that stuff would be on steroids. So I'm thankful for him completely stopping her from becoming president, as well as crooked Hillary, as we like to say. But then when you go on to Sunny Hostin, and this is what drives me crazy. You see how she throws on the little accent? Oh, somebody that's an Afro-Latina. Like she has the Latina.
You know, because of my lived experience as an Afro-Latina.
Why do you have to completely change yourself to give this introduction of your ethnicity? That's how you know she's a fake, phony person. And it drives me up the wall that the audience, the co-hosts, producers, everybody just sits there as she completely bashes the country, labels everybody racist and sexist, misogynist, all this BS, and nobody says a word. If the country's so bad and racist, why are you here? That's what somebody should ask her. If all these other distant lands are so great, why don't you pack up all of your belongings and get out of here? This woman's a multi-millionaire, thriving in this country, has said out of her own stupid lips, said that she lives in a white neighborhood. So you talk about all this, you know who she's getting at when she's talking about, she's specifically talking about white people. And then the white people like the Joy Beharts or the Farrah Griffin just sit there and allow her to do it. And they never call her out. Nobody ever calls her out. They allow her to bash everyone in the country on repeat. So if the country's so bad, you should leave. Go to these distant lands, take your kids, being that these places are so great and America's so evil, and you can go replicate what you're doing here there. Oh, you won't do that because this is the greatest country in the world and you know it, but you consistently bash it, and you're lucky you're in a country where you're allowed to do that. But in the end, these clowns cannot deal with the simple truth. She is by far the worst candidate in history. And that's saying a lot, watching what we've seen over the last 4 years with smoking Joe Biden. She had terrible policies. She's super far left with a trans kids, an open border, all of this stuff that she backed. She wanted to get rid of the Second Amendment. The lady's crazy. Defund the police. We can go on and on, despite what she tried to come out and say, oh, my positions have changed and all that. The woman even lied about working at McDonald's. That tells you everything that you need to know. Completely unqualified, and this country would be going through absolute hell right now if she even sniffed the Oval Office, period. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's so amazing, but just America wasn't ready for somebody as incredible as she is. Man, please, an awful candidate, just like Hillary Clinton. And the next person they put up, AOC or all these other nut jobs, are just as bad, if not worse, than what she is. But I would love for somebody to please ask Sunny, if the country's so racist and bigoted and there's Klan members everywhere and all this nonsense, why do you live here? You can easily go. Why don't you do like Rosie? And why don't you leave? Go to Ireland, Australia, go to Africa, right? Where they took you from, and all this BS that she sells to people on a weekly basis. It's just nonsense. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one.